Good morning, and welcome to this morning's pre-service meditation. So I invite you to get comfortable. Take a nice, deep cleansing breath in the nose, and as you exhale through the mouth, allow the body to relax. One more time, inhale through the nose, and exhale through the mouth. We'll do that one more time, making sure that we inhale completely, exhale fully. Now bring your awareness to your breath. Making sure to keep the breath slow, smooth, soft, silent, and sacred. And on each exhale, allow the body to relax even more. Like water flowing down the side of a mountain. Feel the relaxation flowing down the body, relaxing the jaw, the eyes, face, flowing down and relaxing the neck, flowing down through the shoulders, down the upper arms. Allow the arms just to let go. Through the elbows, forearms. Feel the relaxation flowing through the joints of the wrists, down the backs of the hands, through the fingers, through the tips, now the pads of the fingers. Now relax the palms of the hands, and we breathe. Gently bring your awareness back to the shoulders and allow them to go loose and limp. Let it go. Feel that relaxation flowing down the torso where the chest is relaxed, the upper back is relaxed. The solar plexus is relaxed, the middle of the back is relaxed. The abdomen is relaxed, lower back is relaxed. Allow that relaxation to flow through the hips, rolling down the thighs, through the knees, through the calf muscles and the shins. Relax it all. Feel how that relaxation flows through the ankle joints, down the tops of the feet, toes. Feel the balls of the feet relax. Relax the soles of the feet. Now allow the heels to relax. And we breathe. fully. And exhaling completely. Allowing the breath to remind us that there is only this moment where we cannot breathe for a minute from now. Can't breathe for 30 seconds ago. We breathe in the moment. So in this moment, we allow the breath to guide us to the inner sanctum of the heart, the Holy of Holies, wherein we commune with the infinite intelligence that is within. Drifts away, it's okay. Bring it back, awareness of your breath. of the stillness, the activity of spirit is manifested. Out of the silence, the word of the beloved is heard. And so as we gently bring ourselves back, we give thanks for this holy communion, this sacred tryst with the divine. And we open up our hearts, our inner eye, our inner ear to feel, to sense, and to hear the words of Spirit. The open channel. And now, my child, you say you are an open channel for my healing forces. These are words of truth, but not only shall the channel be open to the healing Christ inflow, but it must be a worthy channel. As the channel is freed from my entrance, freed of selfishness, narrowness, bigotry, lust, evil of all kind, it must also be filled with their opposites: love, unselfishness, an impersonal attitude, meekness, truth, honesty. All the fruits of the Spirit must blossom there. Then, and indeed then only, can the perfect inflow take place. Then, and then only, shall the perfect healing come. Take a breath. So this concludes this morning's pre-service meditation. Peace and abundant blessings.
Blessed we are to dance on this ground with the rhythm of saints, to carry the sound. We hold a prayer for the earth, for the ones yet to come. May you walk in beauty and remember your song. Blessed we are to dance on this ground with the rhythm of saints, to carry the sound. We hold a prayer for all life, for the days yet to come. May you walk in beauty and remember your song. Remember why you came here. Remember your life is sacred. this ground with the rhythm of saints to carry the sound. We hold a prayer for all life, for the ones yet to come. May we walk in beauty and remember our song.
Good morning, all. Good morning to you. I hope your day is great. Da 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 da. Okay. If you're happy and you know it, say Tracy, continue.
Nope, I'm with Sophie and Frank. Clap your hands. Clap your hands.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, and you're blessed and willing to show it. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. All right. It's that time of day. It's that time of Sunday day. Anywho, alrighty. So, good morning, all. Thank you for the wonderful meditation and song selection. Alrighty. So, welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Baltimore's virtual service. I am serving as your host for today. My name is Tracy Rhymes. Woo! Our speaker for today is Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson, Senior Minister for the Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Baltimore. He will deliver another thought-provoking message. Our musician today is Sophie Lynn. Serving as practitioner is Mary Ann Marsalek. Practitioner Eugene Dale Holden led the pre-service meditation. Our sign language interpreters assisting with making this service open, inviting, and accessible to the deaf community are Ashley Goldman and Rainica Permaletta. Working behind the scenes, holding things down are Frank and Jim. Woo! Okay, thanks all for serving today. Alrighty, so before Mary Ann leads us in prayer, let me share some things about her. Mary Ann Marsalek, a licensed practitioner for 7 years with her installation in June 2013, has been studying and practicing science of mind principles for 17 years. Mary Ann is a wife, mother, grandmother of 2 wonderful grandsons. Mary Ann received an MFA from Maryland Institute College of Art. She has devoted her life to teaching, promoting, and establishing arts, humanities, and wellness courses and programs in continuing education at several colleges for over 30 years. Becoming a licensed practitioner allowed Mary Ann to dive in and find the deeper meaning in life through prayer, art, journaling, spiritual practices, and study, and involvement with people in church, work, community, as well as volunteering as CSLGB's board secretary. Some of her core beliefs are: God's presence dwells within each of us, realizing oneness in God and oneness with all of creation. And as Gandhi said, we must be the change we want to see in this world.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our service, to our center. It feels so good to return to my spiritual home. To those people who are just visiting, we welcome you. To people who keep returning, we welcome you again and again. To our members, everyone, we are so glad that you are participating with us today. And this is what I know. I know that right here and now, there is a power and a presence that is within me and within everyone. And this power and presence is filled with love, with wisdom, with power, with compassion, all the wonderful infinite qualities of being, and that we share in this power and this presence. And as I was preparing for this service today, I kept on imagining that we were all connected, that we are joining hands together, hearts and minds, and that in the days before our digital, when we were face to face, that we are really greeting you with hearts wide open. We are joining together with fist bumps, with high fives, with handshakes, and with hugs. And even across this digital divide, we are reaching out with love, understanding, acceptance, and this feels so good. And what the mind envisions, the body receives. So as we virtually hug each other, shake hands, join hands, we are connected on all levels of our being. And that feels wonderful. I am so grateful for everyone who has made this service possible. Our technical help, Jim and Frank, our interpreters, Tracy, our host, and she does so much to organize and bring people together. And our beloved Reverend Ray, who we are so anticipating his next talk, this upcoming talk. And Safi, our musician, who inspires us with her music and with her lyrics. We are so grateful to have everyone here, everyone making this service possible, everyone participating is part of this service, making it possible, enriching it for all. So we are all joining hands together and just preparing our minds and our hearts to receive the message of today, to listen to the music and hear the message that comes from that, and to really rejoice in this glorious, awesome day. I feel so grateful to be a part of all of this, for all the practitioners who are keeping this service and everyone in their prayers, to holding the consciousness for us today. So everyone is participating, and it feels wonderful. It feels good. It feels empowering to reach out to one another, to come back to our spiritual home and share so much. Thank you, God, for this center, for its prosperity, for its expansion, and for this wonderful, wonderful service that is in progress right here and now. So I release this prayer knowing it is done, that our minds are joined together, our souls, our spirits, in glorious song and glorious, just the gloriousness of this day and of this service. And I know that we as a center are expanding, we are prospering, and we are bringing people together. And it's all good, it's all God, and so it is.
And so it is. And before we proceed, everyone just give yourself a nice big hug. All right. Thank you, Mary Ann. Thank you, Mary Ann. Thank you, Mary Ann. All right. So, take two. There we go. The Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore's community honors the world's religions. One tree, many branches. One mountain, many paths. One world, many religions and spiritual traditions. With the lighting of these candles on the first Sunday of each month, we not only honor each person on their select path, but we also bless them and recognize the light, the love, and the life-affirming nature of spirit as it shows itself in each path, in each practice, and in each person. I have a few announcements for you. We currently have 2 weekly ongoing ways to study, learn, and discuss. On Wednesday nights, there's the Science of Mind textbook exploration group. This is facilitated by Reverend Dr. Ray. And on Thursday nights, the study group facilitated by Dr. Ronnie Ellington. Both will give you a nice, good, deep dive into increasing and enhancing your spiritual growth. Friendly reminder that the 2021 spiritual journals are in. You can get your copy today by going to shop.csl.org. Membership. If you are interested in becoming a member or renewing your membership, the Discovery class is available online. Contact us at info@cslgreaterbaltimore.org for more information. Sign up for the CSLGB newsletter. If you're not getting the newsletter, today is a good day. You go to www.cslgreaterbaltimore.org for more information. Sign up, sign up, sign up. All right. Subscribe, if you're not already, to CSLGB's YouTube page and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. It's a whole lot of juicy things. Visit CSL Greater Baltimore and the CSLGB Facebook page for more news and information. Okay, this may be new to some who's visiting for the first time, joining us for the first time. Everyone else knows. On 3, 1, 2, 3, prayer works. Now say it like you mean it. Prayer works. We, as a community, continue to treat and move our feet, knowing the truth for everyone around the planet. Practitioners are available after today's service for one-on-one prayer, and prayer requests can be sent at any time to info@cslgreaterbaltimore.org. Ha! Safi Lynn. Safi is an international singer, songwriter, musician, and teaching artist who considers her music medicine to open hearts and feed the soul. She sings songs channeled through her with a passion to open and connect hearts around the world. There is so much that Safi is doing. I encourage you to check out her website at www.sahffi.com. I give you Safi.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Trust your mind to ask the questions. Trust your heart to know the answers. Follow your soul as it leads you in its dances. Trust your mind to ask the questions. Trust your heart to know the answers. Follow your soul as it leads you in its dances. Once in a while you don't know where you're going, and once in a while you don't care. Once in a while you don't show how you're growing, lest you wake the sheep so deep inside your sleep. Once in a while you are scared. Will they ever notice or care? Once in a while you smile, fully knowing that you are complete inside the sacred heartbeat. Trust your mind to ask the questions. Trust your heart to know the answers. Follow your soul as it leads you in its dances.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Safi. Thank you. Now, Marianne will lead us in a spiritual practice.
Thank you, Tracy, and thank you, Safi. That was really beautiful and really sets the stage for our meditation today. So right now, let's just get comfortable in our chairs. Let's be aware of sitting comfortably, possibly with our feet on the floor, whatever way you are feeling comfortable. And let's take a couple deep cleansing breaths. Let's just feel those breaths, feel ourselves coming to that sweet spot within where spirit lies, and just be aware of that beautiful presence within. So today I will be reading a passage and we will contemplate this reading. But first, I want to relate a little story about myself and how I was preparing for today. The whole month is about compassion and how we are conduits for compassion. And as I was preparing during part of the day, I found that, I was inspired by the many readings that I was finding. But as the day progressed, I found that a family member was in a lot of pain, chronic pain, and was becoming very upset and anxious. And I was finding myself being irritated, angry, and impatient. And it came to me with kind of a little shock that Spirit was showing me bringing a lesson in compassion to me. And I saw that I was not being compassionate. Even though I was spending the day reading about compassion and how compassion works in our lives, that I really was not showing compassion to this loved one. And it was late in the evening, and my beloved family member was very upset, in pain, and everything I was doing all was not helping. And I found that I personally had to calm myself down, ground myself, and truly open myself up to compassion and show compassion. And when I had cleared myself and I let go of all these feelings of anger and irritation and impatience, and I chose peace and calm, and truly a sense of serenity came over me, that it was then I could really reach out to my beloved family member and really help. And that he started to calm down, the pain receded, even though, before even the medication was not helping. But really, as I calmed down and I really felt more peaceful and grounded, then I could truly reach out and be compassionate. And I felt a new, wonderful sense of serenity and even a sense of power as I cleared myself and prayed aloud a bit, prayed silently, and helped to bring my family member back into alignment to help him, to give him a healing space.
Please pause for a moment while we wait to see if Marianne logs back in. If she does not, then we will proceed with service. Thank you for your patience. Continue to use this moment as an opportunity to trust your mind, your heart, and your soul. As we ground ourselves in this moment, recognizing the divine showing up in, through, and as each one of us. So we simply anchor in this present moment and the silence of this space.
Thank you, Marianne. Okay, it is time. It is time.
For you to stop singing, for you to stop singing.
No, it's time to hear from Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson. Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson, Senior Minister at the Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Baltimore. Reverend Dr. Ray has frequently been referred to as a Renaissance man. One look at his resume and the reason becomes clear. As a lifelong learner with a passion for self-development, personal transformation, transmutation, and self-awakening, he lives his bliss as a teacher, mentor, speaker, minister, and so much more. His mission is to live and move and be an active, which is an acronym, active, compassionate, transparent, inspired, vibrant, and empowered member of society who serves to educate, elucidate, emancipate, awaken, and empower people and communities. Reverend Dr. Ray, it is now time for you to come and do what you do as you do what you do. Come do it.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome very much.
So, today's going to be a little bit of a, how do I want to say, word soup kind of day, for lack of a better word, because we're going to be talking about manifestation. So, as Marianne began saying, this month we are talking about being conduits of compassion. And simply what that means is being the vessel, being the demonstration, being the expression of love and nurturing and care. Specifically today, the question that we're starting off with for the title is, what is God giving you? Reminds me of that old, isn't it not Janet Jackson? What's God done for you lately? Stop laughing at me, Tracy. Stop laughing at me. That is Janet Jackson, right? Isn't that Janet Jackson?
What have you done for me lately?
Right. Okay, so what are you laughing at? Anyhow, so the summary for today is God has already given us. And I put us in quotation marks because there really is no us. Not in the grandest absolute expression. There is no us. There is only God. So ultimately this is, God has already given itself everything. Because we are what it is. So everything that is given from God, to God, by God, through God, as God, like it's all God. So God has already given us everything. It is our job, our responsibility to awaken to that. Life is fully supporting us at all times, because if it is true of God, then it must be true of us. You are the manifestation of, you are the individualized expression of, you are an incarnation of God that is individualizing itself as you. The poet Tennyson said, "Closer is he than breathing and nearer than hands and feet." And in the Quran, if I'm not mistaken, it says that that which God is closer than our very neck vein. That which it is must be closer than hands and feet, because it is showing up as our hands, our feet, the heart that Safi sang about, the mind, the eyes, the jaw. Like, it is every sinew, every muscle, every cell, every bone, every part of us. So clearly it must be closer than even our duality mind of separating and saying, oh, my hands, oh, my feet, my body, my house, my words. Well, there are no separate. So your hands are God's hands, your feet are God's feet, your words are God's words, because it is closer than all of these things that we project. If it is true of God, then it must be true of us. Pause and breathe that in for a moment. If it is true of God, then it must be true of us. So what is true of God? God is infinite peace and wellness. Well, if it's true of God, then it must be true of us. God is infinite abundance and prosperity. If it's true of God, then it must be true of us. Yeah. God is infinite intelligence. If it's true of God, it must be true of us. God is infinite overflow of joy and bliss. If it's true of God, then it must be true of us. Wow. You are the manifestation of God individualizing itself as you. So let me ask you a question. Which of these two things is more spiritual? Feel free to, type in the chat if you want to. Which of these two things, because I'm going to give you the answer in a moment. I'm not going to just leave you out there. But I want to ask you, which of these two things, which is more spiritual? And while you're typing, I'm going to get ready to give the answer, because I don't know if you're actually typing or not.
It's all spirit. Neither. Both.
Thank you, Tracy. So the answer is neither is more spiritual, because both are expressions of God made matter. So if they are both, now get in here with this, with the key point of why this is even being asked as a question. Because oftentimes, what do? We make it seem like there are things that are secular and holy. There is that which is God and that which is man, human. There is that which is on the mountaintop, and there is that which is at the base of the mountain, but it has not ascended, so it clearly is not the same thing. We want to separate things, like there are things that are more spiritual. There are people. Deepak Chopra is more spiritual than Mike Pence. Oprah Winfrey is more spiritual than, Iyanla Vanzant is more spiritual than, Wayne Dyer is more spiritual than, Louise Hay is more spiritual than, Ernest Holmes is more spiritual than, Jesus is more spiritual than.
Reverend Ray is more spiritual than.
So what we want to do is identify that there's this separation of. But if God is all there is, and that if it's true for God, then it must be true of us, then if God is spiritual, then everything that it is in expression must be spiritual as well. The question is, are we awakening to that? Are we moving from that space where we know that the $100 bill is just as, and can be seen just as beautiful as a rose, when we come from this place of knowing that it is simply an expression of the one showing itself for a reason and a purpose that gets to move into the world, changing and shifting things. There's no need to hoard. There's no need to lock it away. There's no need to put it on a pedestal, because it's all spiritual, because it's all spirit. Vivian May Williams says, we cannot possess money until we perceive that the substance of our own form or identity is the same substance of wealth or abundance, of which money is the identity. If you believe you are spiritual and money is material, you separate yourself from it by accepting such a belief. But when you realize that money is a spiritual idea that stands in the same relationship to mind, God, as a rose does, it will be visibly expressed without anxious thought. So take that in for a moment. We cannot possess money until we perceive, right, that there's only that which God is. And when we awaken to there is not this separate thing, then this separate thing, we identify that it's right here where we are. The divine idea of infinite abundance, wealth, prosperity, health, and joy is present right where we are. It's not something external to us. And the moment we recognize that it's not this separate external thing to us, then we manifest per se. We attract it per se. We demonstrate it per se. But it begins with this idea of it's right here, right where I am, in my mind, which is the mind of God. There is only that which is the mind of God. Robert A. Russell says, the most direct approach to prosperity is through the absolute. If it is true of God, it must be true in manifestation. God is all in all. It is both desire and fulfillment, prayer and its answer, idea and its manifestation. So let's explore that a little bit deeper for a moment. The most direct approach to prosperity, we're going to talk about that in a second, is through the absolute. If it is true of God, it must be true in manifestation. God is all in all. It is both desire and fulfillment, prayer and its answer, idea and its manifestation. So, what does that mean? What I desire plus my spiritual application equals fulfillment. Got that? What I desire plus my spiritual application equals fulfillment. What I pray about plus my spiritual application equals the answered prayer. What I pray about plus the application, my spiritual application, equals answered prayer. What I have in mind as an idea plus, you guessed it, my spiritual application equals manifestation. What I desire, what I pray about, what I have in mind, plus my spiritual application equals fulfillment, answered prayer, and manifestation. So pause and breathe that in. Because then the question would be, well, what do I desire? What am I praying about? And what is the idea that I have in mind? So let's go back to this idea, the most direct approach to prosperity. So what is prosperity? Because we often simply hear prosperity and we think money. But prosperity is more than just money. Prosperity can be an infinite demonstration of abundance, health, love, joy, freedom, bliss, power. It could be an abundance of any of these things. The most direct approach to health and healing is through the absolute. If health and healing is true of God, then it must be true in manifestation. The most direct approach to joy is through the absolute. If it is true of God, it must be true. Joy must be true in manifestation. The most direct approach to love and compassion is through the absolute. If it is true of God, then love, joy, compassion must be true in the manifestation. So the question once again is, what do I desire? What am I praying about? And what is the idea that I have in mind, plus my spiritual application that then must, if it is true of God, it must be true in manifestation. Then what then becomes the fulfillment, the answered prayer, and the manifestation? If you want to help, this is Wallace Wattles, financial success. If you want to help the poor, demonstrate to them that they can become rich. And you do this by proving it by you getting rich yourself. So, poor. Okay, if you want to help the people who are demonstrating illness, then demonstrate to them that they can be healthy. Prove it by getting healthy yourself. If you want to help the fill in the blank with any condition. You want to help the people who have been traumatized by racism, sexism, homophobia, etc., then demonstrate to them that they can be emancipated or liberated from this experience, and you do so by emancipating and liberating yourself first. Reminds me of the story, not sure how true it has become a legend, where this mother comes to Gandhi with her child and says, Baba, tell my child to stop eating sugar, that sugar is damaging to his body, and teach him this. And Gandhi says, come back in a week. And so the woman leaves with her child and comes back in a week, and Gandhi steps forward and says, young man, stop eating sugar. And the woman's like, dude, wait a minute, wait. Like, you didn't spit out some profound wisdom. Why couldn't you have just said that last week? And his response was, because last week I was eating sugar. I had to stop first. Follow the theme. If you want there to be peace on earth, then be that first. If you want there to be no poor in spirit, no poor in finances, no poor in relationships, then be the fulfillment of that thing and demonstrate that it can be done. How many of us would go to a primary care physician who smokes 7 packs a day, drinks 19 bottles of alcohol a day, consumes 47 donuts every day, and does not exercise, doesn't brush his teeth, doesn't comb his hair, doesn't use deodorant, doesn't blow his nose? Tracy's like, she's gagging right now. How many of us would go to that person for our health guidance, for our well-being? We wouldn't. We're not going to go to a personal trainer who doesn't personally train himself, herself. So, where and when are we being the demonstration of this, whatever it is? Health and well-being, joy, power, prosperity, bliss, creativity. Be it. Show it in our own lives first. And then we become the walking demonstration of it. We've all, I'm pretty sure most of us know what this image is. It's like an icon in our world now. So if I ask you, what is this? Most of us are going to say, oh, it's Mr. Miyagi teaching Daniel-san, wax on, wax off.
Wax on.
But what is the metaphysical lesson of this? It is to practice. To apply, to practice and repeat. Because technically application is practice. You know, what's the old joke? Excuse me, what's the best way to get to Carnegie Hall? The response, practice. But check this out. When you are sitting down at the piano to practice the piano, and you're doing bum 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 bum, you're doing what, like you're playing chopsticks or whatever, like you're practicing. But isn't the practice playing the piano? Like, we think playing the piano is doing what Safi does with the guitar and stuff. Like, we think playing the piano is when you've reached this level of mastery of it. But isn't playing the piano or playing the guitar even in the learning how to play it? Isn't practicing it? Because Daniel thought he was waxing and washing and waxing and washing cars, but actually what he was doing was learning how to do blocks.
It's doing.
It's doing. So the practice and the application is the doing. So what are you doing, and repeat the doing. Do it. Whatever it is that you seek to demonstrate, manifest, create, co-create, whatever it is, do it. Simple as that. Do it. Don't say, well, I don't know how to do a spiritual mind treatment, Reverend Dr. Ray. Do you have an idea in your mind of what health is? Yes? Then you're doing it. Let us not forget that Ernest Holmes said that simply having that idea in our mind, because there is only that one mind, and that mind is God, and the mind that I am using is the mind of God. So the moment I have in my mind absolute health and well-being, it's already in the mind of God. That's declarative. That is demonstrative. That is prayer. So now what do? Oh, you treat and move your feet. So now it's my responsibility to move throughout my life accordingly. So if you want health and well-being, you want wealth and prosperity, then anchor the thought, anchor the words, and then move as though you know you have it. Demonstrate it. There's various levels of manifesting. Manifesting 101. The basic level. This is where we are manifesting princes, princesses, palaces, and parking spaces. Yay, law of attraction.
Wow.
Green lights and parking spaces.
Come on.
That's all good and well. That's all good and well. At the basic level of do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.
Ooh.
At the most basic level. The most basic level. But that's not going to get me on American Idol. That's not going to get me at Carnegie Hall in front of an audience of 7,000. Basic level. Princes, princesses, palaces, and parking spaces. Serves a purpose, but it's only at the basic level. Manifesting at a higher level, think of it as a video game. You move through the video game and you get certain things, and then you evolve to the next level of the video game. And you still have your things that you got to get and got to move through, but it's moving up in levels. The video game is not staying stagnant. Like the little Pac-Man thing doesn't stay in the one space and the little dots come to him. What's her name? Lady Pac-Man? I always thought her name should have been Pac-Lady, but that's
that was the second edition.
right. But I'm saying it's
yes,
right.
Yes.
So the little dots didn't come to her. Little dots didn't come to her. You had to go to You had to go to them, and you had to avoid the ghost in the meantime.
Yeah.
So doing this, let the ghost represent this limiting consciousness of, you're not good enough, and they're chasing you to convince you, but you're not good enough. You'll never be able to do this. You can't. You shouldn't. Remember what your mom said, and they're chasing you, and the job is to avoid them while feeding ourselves, bringing more life into ourselves, and then move to the next level. Think of this whole practice as keep praying, keep affirming, keep visualizing, keep doing whatever it is your spiritual practice until you elevate and move through the various levels of recognition and understanding and living from that new space. Then you have a more advanced level where we no longer view manifestation as a process of getting things. Right? Got that? Instead, we understand it to be the expressing of, the shining of our truth. The truth of what already is. And then we give from that. We know love is. I don't have to attract love. I don't have to manifest love. If I am being it and I am shining it and I am expressing it, then love is. And then my environment matches what I am being. The giving of our light, love, life away from an inexhaustible source that then transforms the world. That's why princes, princesses, palaces, and parking spaces is great on that level, but it is not ultimately transforming the world. It's making things great for you, where you are right now. But if you're going to manifest that, if you're going to shine that light and be an expression of that, then why not do that to manifest a world that works for all? Right? So here we are, moving up. White belt consciousness of manifesting. I got a law of attraction, this stuff. I gotta think it and then put it on a vision board, and then I gotta light incense, and then I gotta chant, and then I gotta go, what else I gotta do? Oh man, I forgot what else. This is too difficult. That's the white belt level, where we think it's about the external things that we have to do versus being it first. We think martial arts is about doing the blocks and doing the kicks until we get further up the level of, martial arts is about being a martial artist. And ultimately, what I am learning, because at the white belt level, I'm thinking, I can kick people and I can do this and I can do this. When we realize that as we go higher up, so it's not about fighting, it's not about that. It's about being a still point piece of presence, where I realize to win 100 victories, in 100 battles is not the highest skill. To defeat the enemy without fighting is the highest skill. To live in a way where the enemy, quote unquote, doesn't even stand before me is the highest skill. To move even higher, to realize that there is no enemy, because if there is no enemy within, then there is no enemy outside of me that can do me any harm. Bruce Lee once said, I don't fear the man, or I don't bow to the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks. But to the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. There's this level of mastery that comes. We've all heard that 10,000 number before, and whether we believe the 10,000 number or not is not the point. The idea is when we consistently put it to practice by doing, then we are being, then we have. It is said that 10,000 hours is roughly 3 hours a day for 10 consecutive years. That's a long time.
Oh, yeah.
So if I ask you, what spiritual practice do you do 3 hours every day? Many of us are going to be like, whoa, dude, you asking too much. I don't have time to do that. But my question then becomes, but you are already thinking, right? You're already breathing, right? You're already using your imagination, right? Because if you're already thinking and breathing and using your imagination, you're already using the art of communication, you're already being aware, then you're already using your time. But the question is, are you doing it with conscious, focused, intentional awareness? Are you brushing your teeth knowing that brushing your teeth is a spiritual practice? Are you washing the dishes knowing that washing the dishes is a spiritual practice? Are you watching television, whether it's This Is Us or The Boys or Halloween episode 7, whatever it is, are you watching it knowing that this too is a spiritual practice? Because if you are, then you're practicing your 10,000 hours. If you are, then you are elevating your consciousness to understanding what it means to be that which it is. David Spangler said, we are not training you in manifestation. We are training you to recognize manifestation. There is quite a difference. We are not training you to be able to produce things. We are training you to recognize the eternal process of production that is all about you so that you can do it because you are it. You are already it. You don't need to produce it. You don't need to create it. You don't need to manifest it. You simply need to be it. In the same way that we understand that we don't manifest a garden or a meal. We make use of the principles or the laws in order for the experience to happen. We plant the seeds. We didn't create the seeds. We didn't stuff little tiny tomatoes in the seeds. And even if we did, where did we get the tomatoes to stuff in the seeds? Where did we get the seeds to be stuffed with the tomatoes? We didn't create the soil. We didn't create the rain or the sunlight. We didn't create any of that. We participate in the process. What did it say at the beginning? God has already given us, God has already given itself everything that could ever be needed. Ours is simply to recognize the ingredients and put them to use. That's manifestation. The recognition of it and then the conscious using of what is for the experience to change. In other words, we did not create flour. And even the first person who was like, if I take corn or I take wheat and I grind it really dry and grind and I get powder, there was already a template for flour to be created, or they wouldn't have been able to grind up corn or wheat or coconuts or whatever flour, rice. They would not have been able to make that if the template for it did not already exist, because God has already given itself everything. So we didn't create the flour, we didn't create the tomatoes, we didn't create the carrots or the sunlight, we didn't create the gestation process for cooking cupcakes or cookies or gestating a turkey, and that's a gluten-free turkey, it's a veggie turkey, just to be clear. We didn't create any of this stuff. We are anchoring and aligning ourselves with the divine process, and then an idea comes. An idea in the mind of God comes into our mind, and then we think it, speak it, feel it, and do it accordingly, and then it shows up. That's why we call it co-creating, because God already puts the stuff there, and then we actively participate with that process. John 14:12, verily, verily, I say unto you, that he that believeth on me, the works that I do shall he also do, and greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto the Father. Timeless truth I tell you, that whoever believes this about me will be able to do what I do, and even greater, because I am going to the presence of the Father, presence of my Father. I'm going to recognize that which is infinite oneness, and because it is what I am, and when you do what I am demonstrating to you, you will be able to do what I have done. These are the words of Yeshua, in case you didn't know. You will be able to do what I have done and even greater. So the question is, are we doing this? Are we putting into practice the principles, the laws, in order to manifest, to demonstrate, to create, to align with this truth? Our application and practice for this week. Contemplate what belt that you are with regards to manifesting. Are you a white belt at manifesting? Are you a blue belt manifester? Are you a brown belt manifester? Are you a black belt with a gold? Tracy's like, that's me, I'm black. Let us pay her no attention right now. Let us move on. So which belt are you? What practices would assist you in advancing in your level of mastery? What is it that you can do? Would it be visioning? Would it be getting a practitioner and doing regular prac sessions? Would it be taking classes? Some form of regular daily practices. What is it that would assist you in advancing your level of mastery, moving from white belt to blue belt to brown belt to black belt to mastery belt? Identify 3 things that you want to manifest. Do you want to manifest money? Do you want to manifest relationships? Do you want to manifest a career? Do you want to manifest a new CSL Greater Baltimore location? What do you want to manifest? Identify those 3 things. And remember from before, when we have the idea plus the spiritual application, it equals the manifestation of it. The prayer plus the spiritual application is answered prayer. What is it that you want to manifest? Because you can't do it without the clarity of what it is. Identify the ingredients that constitute the manifested thing. So I want to manifest relationship. Well, then what do you need to be the ingredients? Well, I need people. I need communication. I need there to be a level of vulnerability. Identify the ingredients that show up in the manifested thing. If I say I want to manifest chocolate chip cookies, well, I have to know the ingredients. There's flour and butter and sugar and chocolate chips, and it's got to be real chocolate chips, not that. It's got to be real chocolate chips, right? So I know what the ingredients are, and the ingredients also include an oven that's preheated to 350. It's a timer that's set for the cookies have to bake for. It's all of those go into the ingredients. What ingredients do I want, or do I recognize, rather, that constitute this manifested thing for me? Identify what principles or laws that you must employ to manifest it. In other words, mental equivalent. I must be at the mental equivalent of the thing that I am saying I desire to manifest. Gestation is how much time is in the process of, how much time does it take to grow from seed to pulling the tomato off the vine. How much time is there needed for this to show up? Because I have to participate in this. If I'm going to be impatient about, dude, fine, put it in the microwave. Put the chocolate chip cookies in the microwave. Those don't taste as good as the ones in the oven. Well, then you need to be patient. You can swipe left, or swipe right, whichever way it is to hook up. You swipe that way and you can hook up, but is that a relationship? The kind that you want to manifest? So, but you're being impatient and you want this thing really quickly. So you get a 3 a.m., you know what I'm talking about.
You get a 3 a.m. swipe?
You get a 3 a.m. swipe, wink, wink. But is that the relationship that you want to demonstrate? So you must gestation. And you have to treat and move your feet. And then lastly, create a blueprint for how to practice, develop, align, and manifest. In other words, what are the actual applicable steps to manifesting it for you? From the moment you have the idea or the desire that this is what you want prayer for, this is the idea that you want to manifest, this is the desire you want to experience, from there, now what am I needed to? I want a career. What career? Identify it. Do I have the skills? No. How do I get the skills? Take a class, take a workshop, do this, do that. Okay, then what? Get your resume together. Okay, then what? Then find where you want to work. Then what? Then apply for it. Then what? Then make the calls, the emails. How do you move through these steps in order to co-create or align or manifest? Our declaration, our affirmation for today is, I'll read it first and then you join in with me. I am so grateful that I am fully supported by God and as God. I'm fully supported by and as God. Ready? Together. I am so grateful that I am fully supported by God and as God. And so it is.
And so it is.
So we anchor ourselves and breathe as we prepare our hearts and our minds and our souls and our spirits to receive the wonderful musical blessing of our beloved Safi Len. Put your hands together and give her some love.
Thank you so much. Just want to sit with that message for a minute. That was beautiful. Thank you. I've shared this song with you all before, and I would love to share it in this moment. I think we can all understand the healing that needs to happen now. And I think we all understand everything that Dr. Reverend Ray is saying is also a choice. So it's important to remember that as we move forward in our mastery of our practice. It's a choice to be in that space, yeah. In the dark night of the desperate soul, when you're lost and don't know which way to go, you've come so far you don't know where you've been. This is where the healing begins. when your heart cries out for the millionth time, and there's no one there to reel in your line. When the light inside fades to dim, this is where the healing begins. This is where you find your true voice, where you realize you have a choice. You can let the darkness win, or you can let the healing begin. This is where you find your true voice, where you realize you have a choice. You can let the darkness win, or you can let the healing begin. So do your best not to fall apart. Find your strength and embrace the dark. For even if you think your chances are slim, this is where the healing begins. This is where you find your true voice, where you realize you have a choice. You can let the darkness win, or you can let the healing begin. This is where you find your true voice, where you realize you have a choice. You can let the darkness win, or you can let the healing begin. You can let the darkness win, or you can let the healing begin. Thank you.
Always, 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 always. Choice. We have a choice. You can choose to let poverty win. You can choose to let racism win. You can choose to let sexism and homophobia win. You can choose to let othering win, or you can let the healing begin. Begin again new today, this day, November 8th. Begin again new when it's November 9th. Begin again new when it's January 1st. Begin again new each morning. Let the healing begin in that moment. And breathe. Thank you, Safi, as always. Beautiful. So at this time of service, we move into that practice, that spiritual practice that we call tithing, offering, spreading of our financial abundance for the support of this beloved spiritual community. Just as an update, the practitioners who pledged $5,000 by end of 2020 to date have raised pledged $4,322.50. The community matching this has pledged thus far $775. And let us remember that there is another donor, tither, not sure what to call them at this present moment, supporter, who has said that they will match whatever this number is that the community has pledged. So if the community matches the 5,000 that the practitioners have pledged, then this person will match that, and that'll be another 5,000. So just know that whatever this number rises to, someone else is going to match that number. Moving into what it means for CSL Greater Baltimore to expand, both as an in-person center, as a virtual center, as a global center.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's the nicest thing that anyone's ever done for me. So, you have 3 ways to offer, donate, tithe: PayPal, text to give, or the postal mail. Remembering that you can always put into the memo that you are designating a certain portion of your tithe to a certain, you're donating it to education, you are donating it to emergency care fund, you are donating it to hospitality, you are dividing it and putting part to the community matching pledge and part to the new building fund. You can designate portions of as you so choose. If you want more information about any of that or anything tithe related, feel free to go to cslgreaterbaltimore.org/giving. Our prosperity declaration. Together, when we are ready. No, go ahead. I joyfully, consciously, and gratefully participate in the law of circulation. I trust in the spiritual principle that says, as I sow into my beloved community, I demonstrate my awareness of standing not only in the flow, but as the flow itself. As I sow of myself, my time, my treasure, my talent, I demonstrate my support and engagement in my community's vision, mission, and purpose. I actively give as a demonstration of manifesting, of reaping the harvest of a world that works for all. Breathing and recognizing that we are the very demonstration of this abundance, this prosperity, this wealth, this divine overflow of spirit. Yes, we are at that time of service. I'm so glad we had this time together. Just to have a laugh or sing a song. See, we just get started, and before you know it,
comes the time we have to say.
Have a great and awesome day. Make
it a great and awesome and wonderful day.
One of these days, we're going to do the whole service, and it's going to just be one long musical song.
It's going to be.
Stay tuned.
Ooh, Sophie's excited.
Just from the beat, it's just going to be today. You know how you go watch a movie, and it's just like I want to say they did it with ER at one point, but at some point, it's like the regular episodes, and then they had this one episode where everything in the episode, it was a musical. So we're going to do that.
Everything is a musical.
Make today awesome. Do whatever it is you need to do to recognize that you are an awesome being. You are. It reminds me of when I used to go to church, Christian church. There was a song, "My God is an awesome God. My God is an awesome God." Well, if my God is an awesome God, and what God is, I am, then that which God is as an awesome God, I must be God, all in all. So my God, I am an awesome God.
Ooh.
My God. I am that which is powerful, that which is presence, that which is love, that which is joy, individualized in, through, and as me. My words have power. My thoughts have power. My emotions and the ways in which I show up in the world change and transform the world just because I, the infinite I am, ever expanding, is here today. Walk that today. Know today that after service, if you desire prayer, you can be teamed up one-on-one with a practitioner for prayer. If you desire prayer, please type into the chat box that you desire prayer. Otherwise, once we are done and Frank and Jim open the communication lines and we chat and, love up on each other and, hey, what's up? Hey, Nancy, how are you today? Hey, Mo, what's going on? Hey, Garrett, how are you? Like, just loving up and chatting and chatting and chatting. That once we're done with that and the prayer, that there is an after-service meeting of the board to discuss, because I don't know if the board members and practitioners remember this, we are discussing the Nonviolent Communication book today. So type in if you want prayer so we know. Otherwise, we will see you next Sunday, or we will see you in class this Wednesday or this Thursday. Much love, much blessings. Much love, much blessings. Because I don't hear y'all. I need to hear stuff.
Much blessings. Much love, much blessings. Much
okay, there you go.
love,
There you go.
much blessings.
Thank you very much. Chat with y'all soon.